Live from Studio B, welcome to Rotor Talk Live, your weekly home for the latest consumer drone news, rumors, reviews, and tips. Since 2017, we've helped drone fans stay on top of what's rumored, what's flying, new specs, features, updates, and expert analysis. Hosted by Bill the Drone Reviewer and co-hosted by Ron Brown from Drone Nation, we keep you up to date on everything in the consumer drone space.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 9, Episode 21, DJI Avata 360 Critical Info. Hope everyone is well. We got a full house tonight. Let's see who we got here. Dale's here. DD Fellows. Let's see who else we got. Let's see. I know Art's here. Welcome, Art. Gator Drone is here. I think Sergeant Rock is here. Welcome. Yeah, you are. Sure enough, you are. See who else we got. Going through here. RJ Redding, welcome. John Flynn, welcome. Let's see who else here. Joni Oki, welcome. Going through here. Koopy, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, John. Appreciate it. Mario, welcome. Good to see you too. All right. First of all, we're going to have the great reveal here coming up in a little bit, but I'm using now artificial intelligence is here to stay. So it's a part of the channel now, and you might see there's a, you look up. Well, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. There we go. You look up in the corner there, you can see our new logo. Okay. There's several different versions of it. In fact, I went ahead. I said, look, you know what? Just for fell swoop, I just decided to go ahead and do all my channels. I did one for Ham Radio Basics. This is my short version of this one. This has gotten really popular already. I mean, I just put it out there and people were like, do you have that in a t-shirt or especially in a hat? So yeah, so there's going to be more to come on this. And of course, we'll talk about that here a little bit later tonight as well too. Also got some really critical Avata 360 information I need to pass on to you guys. Ron was visiting his dad last week in Pennsylvania. He's going to be back and join us here in just a few tonight. So we'll look forward to having him on here in just a little bit. But just wanted to get things kind of started off and let you know that AI is here to stay, and it's going to be a part of the channel. And it's going to assist me. And if you watched my video I released this week on DJI Woes, you saw my new intro and outro, and we're going to get to that here in a little bit. And just it's not a super complicated explanation. It's very straightforward, very easy. So don't worry about any of that. So okay, Joe's here. Welcome, Joe. All right. One of the first there's yeah. Talk about having to now see one of the things, and let me take a step back here before I get going in gear. One of the things that I do is in order to prep for the show, I have Google Alerts set out there and to a number of different phrases, including DJI, drone names, blacklist, FCC. I mean, I do that. That's one of the ways that I gather news to be able to present to you guys. The other way is I look on both Drone DJ and Drone XL. They're the two most reliable sources of news regarding the consumer drone space out there. And, I've known Hay for a long time. He's very good. And, some great articles on both sites. So we definitely want to share that. Any other kind of tidbits that I hear along the way, I will also, of course, check like Igor and also Jasper Ellens and Osidalev, not so much lately, but, I go out there and I pull all that together to when I report all these news items to you, just kind of like FYI. I just want to let you know. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about tonight, and I know and I want to share it because anytime support's ended for a product that's made by DJI, I think it's newsworthy. DJI is ending support for popular Osmo mobile gimbals, and it's for the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 and DJI Osmo Mobile 4. DJI will suspend service and support for both products starting August 3rd, 2026. Okay. All right. That's just, it means it's not going to receive support anymore, but you can still use them, and I think that's one of the things that people really kind of like, oh, they're ending support. I mean, I can't use, no, that doesn't mean that. What that means is they're just not going to have any more updates on these products from DJI. So, and you'll still be able to continue and use them and everything. But, and if you know me, I think I've told you, I had my story. I think I had the Osmo Mobile 2 maybe and tried setting it up. And it was the thing that bugged me was I had to do that every single time. Because at the time I only had one smartphone, and it was just like, set it up, take it down, set it up, take it down, set it up. And it was a real pain. It was a lot more the pain. I was a lot more pain than gain from something like that. So right then and there, I was done. my adventure ended rather quickly with the Osmo Mobile product. But a lot of people use it. It's functional for them. A lot of people who vlog and do other things, it really works well for them. And more power to you. My hat's off to you guys. But it never really worked for me. It never really fit into my flow. Action cameras fit DJI Action. I have the DJI Action Cam 5, and it fits so much better in my workflow than like an Osmo Mobile kind of a product. And yeah, so that's where that went. All right. Okay. I touched base on this article last week, but I wanted to go over it again because I thought it was important enough. Michael Wright, welcome. Good to see you tonight. Johnny, welcome. Good to see you. Trini Weeks, welcome. Good to see you guys. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Dr. Ted, all right. We got a full house here tonight. And seriously, it goes without saying, I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys are absolutely rock stars every week in and week out. Your comments have just lately, they have just been off the charts. Awesome. Appreciate each and every one of them. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming, watching to us, and engaging. And that's what this is all about, because this show is for you guys. Okay. It's not for Ron. It's not for me. It's for you guys. And it's for the drone community at large. So, okay, let's get off my soapbox here a little bit. All right. I did talk about this last week, but I still wanted to go ahead and bring this up because I still think it's relevant here. And I wanted to make mention of this because I still think it's important to talk about is Autel fights FCC drone ban, denies China data access claims. All right. Autel Robotics claims that the FCC is unfairly treating its drones like DJI products, even though the company says regulators have never presented evidence that Autel itself poses a security threat. They have a very valid point here, and this is what I want to get along here. You guys, obviously, the article's pinned out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group for you guys to read. They make a great point regarding that. They came out, the whole point of what the FCC has been doing has been pointed 100% directly at DJI. Well, they're lumping Autel into this bundle as well too, but Autel is not mentioned in any of this, and I think they have a very valid point. And with these kind of points like this, these are kind of things that a good legal firm will be able to pick up on, and and maybe have some pushback to the FCC, especially about Autel. But and we all know the story here. I don't have to repeat it. Nobody has really shared a shred's worth of evidence regarding this at all. Nothing. Zero. Okay, we have no evidence about this, about DJI's involvement, and obviously Autel. They're including Autel, but they never mentioned Autel. So and the old saying, "Show me the money," from the Tom Cruise Cuba Gooding Jr. movie. So, and that's the crux of this right here. Now, Autel makes a great point in this article. One of the biggest claims by Autel is that the U.S. government relied on classified information that the company was never allowed to see or challenge. According to the filing, the Department of War confirmed the classified and undisclosed material played a role in the determination process. Autel says that violates basic Fifth Amendment protections because the company was never given meaningful notice or an opportunity to respond before facing major regulatory consequences. Autel repeatedly cites the 2014 Rails Court versus CFAS case, in which a federal appeals court ruled that even in national security matters, affected companies must at least be told the unclassified evidence against them and given a chance to rebut it. The drone maker argues that none of those safeguards were provided here. And they have, like I said, they have a very valid point with all this. All right. I mean, it really is. You can read the rest of this at length, and it's pretty lengthy, and it gets into a real good discussion here. And I would highly recommend that you guys do that. So I think it really kind of covers the basis from where Autel's coming from. Okay. And, they have, like I said, they have a very valid point here. They're getting lumped in with DJI, but there he is. How are you, sir?
Hey, Bill. Sorry, catch you mid sentence. How you doing? How was your Memorial Day?
I have to work. Okay, we have the way our time off policy works at Publix. Okay, they gave us more days a few years ago, but what they did was they took all our holidays from us, and we have to use pay time off to take a holiday off, except for Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's just so I worked yesterday. Valerie was off yesterday, but you know what? It was like nobody was doing anything. Emails weren't flying yesterday, so it was really kind of like just a babysitting the computer kind of day yesterday.
Yeah, I've worked many holidays in my day, Bill, so I know how it is.
Yeah, so really nothing there. Just finishing up an article about Autel getting lumped in with DJI, and they really made a valid point here. There was a case a few years ago that said even in terms of national security, they need to be notified what the evidence is against them and have a chance to rebut it. And Autel claims it was never given that chance, which it was legit.
They cited was that the Fifth Amendment? The Fifth Amendment guarantees them that right, I think, Bill.
Right. They cited the Fifth Amendment, and let me get back here for a second. The 2014 Rails Court versus CFUS case, in which a federal appeals court ruled that even in national security matters, affected companies must at least be told the unclassified evidence against them and given a chance to rebut it. The drone maker argues that none of those safeguards were provided here. So, and they're right. They're absolutely right on that.
Bill, do Autel packages get stopped at the customs border like DJI packages?
That's a real good question because first of all, I don't know if Autel drones are still being sold or not. Okay.
Well, I think they're still active in the enterprise sector, but I'm not sure what they have left in consumer drones. So yeah, but I know they're still active in enterprise.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we're going to talk about the Uyghur Act and all that stuff coming up here in a little bit when we go through our.
And I just get off the top, but the point is that with DJI out of the market, if Autel could step back in, they would kind of have things to themselves, right, Bill?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if they, I mean, because they really haven't been. I mean, this whole thing, it's a gray area with what the wording on this as far as that's concerned, and if they get a good judge, they could get this tossed out against them. So who knows? I mean, it's like one of those wait and see kind of things. But they make a strong case. Okay, they make a very strong case about it.
And they still make an enterprise version of the Autel Evo 2 Pro, whatever that came out about 5 years ago, so that they could probably quickly rejigger another consumer version of that drone and get it out on the market.
I'm sure they could, Ron. It wouldn't take them much to tool that back up again and start producing it. So I think we'll see very shortly.
I mean, they have all the technology, the patents. They have all the patents and parts and technology they need to produce a good quality consumer drone.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think stay tuned. I think we'll find out about this sooner rather than later as far as that's concerned. So, like I said,
I'm sure if the government has their way, they'll drag this out. They'll drag that out so long that Autel will lose interest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're going to begin the DJI portion of the show right now. And the first thing I wanted to do now, I know last week, and we had Marcus was on last week, and he really shared his story, which was fantastic. And again, thank you, Marcus, for doing that. That was a great story. And your videos were well done as well, too. I didn't have a chance to comment on them, but kudos to you for getting those videos out. One of the things that I did want to do, though, is, we're still, we still cover drones on this channel. Whether or not we can get them, consumer drones is another story. But I wanted to go ahead up and put here, I could have gone out here and picked any one of a dozen reviews and tell you about this. But the best one, the one that I point you to is the one from Sean from Air Photography. All right. Reason I point to you to Sean, there's no fluff in here. There's no added filler. It's all 100% meat, no fillers. Okay. He gets to his point. He gets to it right away. It's a great review. Yeah. He called it a beginner's guide, but it's a great review of the Lito X1. You really get to see all of its capabilities, how to use it. I mean, Sean goes through the alphabet soup here with everything on it. And I wanted to make mention of that because, we have our friends up in Canada, UK, Europe, Asia. They're still able to get the Lito and Lito X1. And choosing your controller, the RC2, RCN3, picking a package, standard combo or Flymore combo, understanding the batteries and the 249 gram rule, a closer look at the aircraft, getting to know the controller. I mean, like he said, talks about all the powering on and off, charging and installing memory, activating your drone and updating firmware. Sean is so really good at this. He's taken the approach like this is a newbie that's getting that, navigating the Fly app here. Like I said, this is really well done. Preparing for your first flight, taking off and learning the sticks, keeping an eye on battery and flight time, return to home, your safety net, using vision assist, and final thoughts for new pilots. Okay. I mean, it's a great article, and Sean did his due diligence as he always does with this. And, and I say, the only ones that are really losing out are us. Okay. Because I think it's a great drone. I think it's going to be a good seller for DJI. It's just unfortunate the circumstances behind this and what's happened. And I mean, it's not approved for use in the United States is bottom line. And, it's any thoughts on that, Ron?
No, I mean, again, Marcus did as much research as he can. I mean, whether it's legal in the U.S., I mean, I don't know if you could call the FCC up and get a official yes or no from them, but it definitely, again, I'm no lawyer. I have no legal advice. If you want to say it's legal from what you read, I'm not here to argue with anybody, but yeah, I wouldn't buy it and fly in the U.S., but that's just my own opinion. But Bill, the closest we can get to the Lito in the U.S., I think, is on Amazon. They still sell the VUMAX drone, which if you look at the specs and even the design where the sensors, it looks like it's very closely related to
right. I was going to say
one, and it sells on Amazon. You don't have to worry about getting through customs because it's already in the U.S. So if you order it, you would get it in 2 or 3 days. It wouldn't have to go through any customs agent. So I mean, if you really had your heart set getting a Lito X1, I guess you could compromise getting the VUMAX. I mean, of course, you and I are in a situation with the Mini 5 Pro, so these drones, they're not really upgrades to what we have or whatever. So, I mean, I'm not interested in the Lito 1 or the VUMAX, but again, the VUMAX, I don't know anybody that has a VUMAX. I can't say anything about how good it is, just that on paper, it looks very similar to the Lito X1.
Okay. Now, the VUMAX, it has like an N3 kind of controller, right?
Yes, you would not have the option for a smart controller, but of course, I mean, I get back to thing on a budget price drone. If you're truly buying a budget price drone because you're in a budget, do you really want to shell out an extra $200-300 for a controller with a screen? I know, say when you and Marcus are buying these drones, you're buying budget drones, but you're not budget shoppers.
Right.
But if a true budget shopper, does a true budget shopper really want to shell out $200-300 extra for a controller with a screen? If that's the case, why not just get the Mavic, the Mini 5 Pro?
Exactly. That's a great point, and it's still on sale as far as I know.
It was on, and the VUMAX is a little pricey. If you buy the standard kit, it's a little over $600. If you buy the Flymore combo, which again only gets you a standard controller where you put your phone on, that's like $850. So it's not like it's budget. It's not like what I think of budget drones. But
you're knocking on the door of the Mini 5 Pro at that point, Ron. And if you're that close, you're 150, 200 away, why not just take that leap? I mean, really, and you get the Mini 5 Pro with a controller with a screen on it and more features. I mean, really.
And Bill, I think the real miss for a lot of people is not the Lito X1, it's the Lito 1. That is the more budget price version, which maybe would start in the $300-$400 range. And that would truly be a budget drone for beginners getting their first drone, or people maybe that have a non-DJI drone that they're really not happy with the camera, the performance. So us not getting that budget price Lito 1 is probably the one that's really going to encourage use. Because if you really wanted the Lito X1, you could get the Sky Rover X1, which is very similar.
Oh, yeah.
You could still go get a Mini 4 Pro, which is very similar. Mini 4 Pro, you can get it one with a screen. So I mean, there's very compatible drones still available in the US to the Lito X1.
Exactly. Now, the woes that we experience here regarding DJI, it's gone to China and it's also in Ontario. All right. DJI
where does Sean Air Photography? What I know our good friend Lauren's in Calgary, so he's safe, but I'm not sure which
thought he lived in Ontario, Ron. I'm not 100% sure. I thought he said he lived north of Toronto, but
as far as I know from this story, it's not affected consumers yet. That Ontario ban is mostly on enterprise level products. Is that what you understand, Bill?
Right. DJI responds to Ontario ban, calls decision country of origin move without proven evidence here. All right. DJI is pushing back on Ontario's May 20th decision to ban Chinese drones for sensitive Ontario provincial police operations and to phase out broader provincial government use, calling the move country of origin decision unsupported by published evidence. In a statement, DJI said its drones have undergone multiple independent and government security evaluations and pointed to disclosure controls that keep flight logs, photos, and videos off of DJI servers by default. The response is a standard DJI line of 2026 in a statement in DJI's own words. DJI is disappointed to learn the government of Ontario's decision to restrict the use and purchase of life-saving drone technology based solely on the manufacturer's country of origin. So basically, this is really for use by first responders here, I think is what this law is all wrapped up about.
That's not good, though, because that's the way it started in the U.S.
Exactly. Okay. And it's a slippery slope from there on down. It really is. Where the audit record stops, Drone XL's DJI statement is the same playbook the company has run since the 2020 Booz Allen audit, and the audit record it cites is real and well documented. Every published hardware audit was found no exfiltration to China for specific models tested. The company is also broadly correct on the operational point, though not comparable is too absolute. The Skydio X10 has an autonomous dock and Axion integrated software stack DJI does not match, and Bright Lemure has indoor tactical strengths DJI does not match. On payload capacity, thermal sensor performance, and per unit price for outdoor patrol and search work, the DJI Matrice 4T and Matrice 30T remain the harder targets to replace, and the Florida and RCMP track records support the warning DJI is raising here. Okay, so more to come with that. We'll kind of see where all that's going. It kind of surprised me, that it's like it's like you creep in the door just a little bit, okay, and then you keep pushing the door open more and more and more, okay, and I think that's what we're seeing right here, okay, and that's how this whole blacklist thing got started. I think it was started in Florida, okay. They banned DJI drones from first responders here in the state of Florida, okay, and we were, I think, one of the first states in the country.
Well, you got Rick Scott. He's on top of things down there.
He and Elise Stefaniak, the DJI non-dream team, just going after that as far as that's concerned. So we'll kind of stay tuned for all that and see where that's going here. So all right, what I wanted to talk about right now, and this is kind of like a little on the lighthearted side, which is fine. Okay. Many of you see that I had a new intro and outro for my videos. that I did the other day, and I used artificial intelligence. Well, I got some nice comments on it, but I wanted to set the record straight. Okay. This picture here is of Valerie from when my daughter's wedding back in 2017. And this is what I used to generate the AI image. So basically the AI image is Valerie, just to let everybody know. So there's that is the big reveal. Okay. I just wanted to get that out there and let everybody know. So it's Valerie.
And Val gave her permission.
Oh yeah. Trust me, Ron. This wouldn't happen without that. Okay.
Bill's got the signed contracts, folks.
I got the signed Well, you know what? As long as I bring her a caramel macchiato venti from Starbucks when I go over there every day, I'm in good shape. So
you're paying your daily what do you call fee for using the
yes. Now, also too, on a more serious note, I did add disclosure statements starting in all the descriptions of the videos, description on the channel. I put this everywhere because YouTube is very sensitive to that. And I just want to make sure, this is full disclosure. I'm using AI, and I'm using AI not only for these, and how I'm doing it is really simple. All right. What I've done is I use two AI systems. I use ChatGPT to generate a still image for me. And that's what I use to generate the image for the logo, for my new logos. By the way, all my new logos, I used to go out to Fiverr, have to spend $40 to $60 to do new logos. This is how much I've been spending to do my new logos. It's zero. No, I did it now on here. You can see my Ham Radio Basics. I've changed my logo on that. I've changed my logo on my Florida Panthers den, which is now called On the Prowl. I also changed, I also have another ham radio channel too that I've changed the logo on too. So it's real nice to be able to do all that, and it's for free. I mean, you can't beat that up. So what I do is I generate the still image. And then once I do, I put it into Grok. That is another AI search engine. And it has a video engine on there. Okay. And it's Elon.
You said that's Gronk?
Grok, Grok.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I do is you're allowed up to 3 10-second consecutive clips. Okay. And you can extend that clip. So what I do is I go into ChatGPT and I have it draw up a script for me and break it up into 3 10-second segments. All right. And what it does is it put prompts in there. It says scene starts, all the way down there. And so and what I do is I take those 3 10-second clips, I dump it into DaVinci Resolve, and I make it real seamless. Okay. So that's one 30-second video. So I did that as an intro video today. I did that as an intro video for all my videos coming up. And I did that as an outro for my videos coming up. And my cost was a big fat zero. I animated it. And the hardest part was animating it because I wanted the drones to land at the end. Okay. And I was getting one to land, one to go up, 2 to come down, one staying up. I mean, it was working with AI. When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's very temperamental. And you kind of got to coax it along. A lot of times it's best to just walk away. That's what I've learned. And maybe come back in an hour or two. And I think a lot of it has to do with when it's more busy during the day, when its servers are busy. For example, yesterday I tried getting on ChatGPT a couple of times and it sent me to the backup server because the servers were busy. So this is just kind of like just keeping everybody in the loop here. Now, I'm going to bring up the main point of the show today. And this is really something I really want you guys to pay attention to what's going on here. Okay. I got pinged, what was it, Wednesday last week or Thursday? Somebody who sent me a friend request pinged me. He said, you need to watch Pilot Institute's video. Okay. In Pilot Institute's video, it talked about, is your DJI drone legit for the US? Does it have the FCC ID? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through what I did. Now, I went through and I looked at, and I want to, but before I show you these screens coming up here, I looked at my Mavic 4 Pro, which I got from South Korea. I looked for my Neo 2, which I got from South Korea. Both of those had the DJI FCC ID on them. And I looked, and I'm talking about stamped on the label on the drone itself. I verified both of those. Okay. Now, here's
And
what.
usually that number is on the box also.
Right. Usually that number is on the box. Very good, Ron. Now, what I'm going to do here is we're going to go
I
ahead.
say that because sometimes it's tiny to read on the drone.
Exactly.
Like on the box, it's usually like twice the size.
All right. Why this isn't working now? Okay, here we go. All right.
There's Val again.
All right. Now, this right here, what you're going to see right here, this is what a DJI Avata 360 should look like. And if you could see my cursor right here, you're going to see FCC ID right there. Okay. I think it's SS3DDN3NT. And if you just type that into Google, it'll say DJI Avata 360. All right. This is what you should see. Now it's going to tell you where the location is on the drone, where the label, where you can find that in the battery compartment. All right. So let's go ahead and go over here. Now, I went into ChatGPT, and this is what it says here: DJI Avata 360, FCC ID, SS3, DDN3T, black label with DJI Avata 360 at the top. The line reads FCC ID, SS3, DDN3NT. Okay. The next screen I'm going to show you is, all right, we can take a look right here, and I couldn't get this to blow up anymore. Well, yeah, how about this? Okay. Let's bring this down here. All right. And you can see right here, you don't see FCC ID on here at all. And it's not on the box either. All right. So what does all this mean? All right. What all this means is basically, all right, these are Chinese versions of the Avata 360. All right. They were not international versions, but these are Chinese versions. They actually make two versions of the Avata 360. They make a Chinese version and they make an international version. Now, the Chinese version has that 4G LTE module on there, but it's only can be enabled within China. All
and
right?
that was in your software when you flew the drone. We could see it.
Exactly. It was up there. So with all this being said here, all right, I went ahead and I pinged Evelyn, and we had a great discussion.
People don't know Evelyn is a reseller located in China.
In China, correct. All right. Currently, right now, the first thing I'll let you know is her Avatas were being held up at U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. All right. And, she thinks it's because of what we just discussed right here. All right. That these are not legal to fly in the United States because they do not have the FCC ID on them. Now, I'm going by what Pilot Institute said, and by what you see right there. All right, that clearly shows there's no FCC ID on this. And also, too, when I brought that drone up, you could see on there, it had that on the DJI Fly app as far as, that extra module, that warning, was not enabled. All right. So we had a discussion back and forth, and sending it back, unfortunately, was not an option, because what would happen it would go through U.S. Customs fine, but it would stop at Chinese Customs. They would add on probably anywhere from a 10 to maybe a 20% tariff onto the drone. Okay. Even if it was being returned back to the country. Okay. They didn't care. They were still going to charge that. And Evelyn was cautioning me about doing that, because I told her, I said, I would pay to ship it back. She was cautioning me against doing that because a lot of times they will just get stuck and they will go nowhere, and they will sit there, and you're going to lose your product. Now, of course, you could get insurance on it through UPS or whoever your carrier is, but you would have to have Chinese Customs would contact you, and then you would have to either pay the tariff or not, and it would get real messed up. So we worked out something to our mutual satisfaction for both of us that got this addressed and got this taken care of. And what I did in the meantime was, now, instead of going through eBay, I went out and I took a look, and I bought a brand new DJI Avata 360, the R2 controller and one battery from Adorama, and it will be here on Thursday. Okay. Now, basically, what I have in there
inside the U.S.
Right, inside the U.S.
So you have no worries about customs and border or anything.
Exactly.
Like
okay.
It's already here.
and it's an international version. There's no issues with it. And that's pretty much what the going price right now is on eBay. I paid $719 for it. All right. Which I thought was a good price. You know, other ones have been outrageous on eBay.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't get back to me. I thought, I said, you know what? I don't have to deal with customs. I don't have to deal with anything. It's available immediately. Adorama's a brick and mortar. I could send, if there's an issue, I can send it back, get it resolved. That's not a problem. The other thing is, the only thing what I can do is this. All right. I already have 2 batteries that I purchased from Evelyn and a charging hub. All right. So I'm going to be getting a battery with the new one. So I'll have, in essence, a total of 3 batteries. Now, I have several options available to me. All right. I can go ahead and sell everything but the drone to somebody. All right. Legally, I can do that. All right.
Because the controller does have FCC approval.
Right. The controller has FCC approval, batteries, charging hub, the case, the landing pad, the whole 9 yards. Okay.
Yeah.
I can try and sell that, or I can keep them. I can try to recoup some of my losses, and I'm going to try that. If not, I always look at it this way. I'll have plenty of batteries for an Avata 360 coming up. All right. So, either way, I'm all set. Now, Evelyn and I told her, I said, I'm still going to support your channel, or your business. Okay. Don't think I'm going anywhere. And I told her, I said, one of the things, I'm not going to say anything bad about this transaction. In fact, she was great on this. I do want to say that. One thing that she did tell me, though, is she is no longer selling Avata 360s right now because of all the complications that she's had. All right. And my recommendation is this for a while. Okay. I think Evelyn's going to stick with selling batteries, controllers, and the like. I don't think she's going to be getting into, from her tone and from everything she told me, I don't think she's going to be getting into and selling, like the Avata 360 or the Lito X1 or anything like. I don't think she's going to be selling the drones because she was getting them directly from China. She didn't have a choice as far as her supplier was concerned. So all in all, I think it worked out well. I'm going to be having an Avata 360 coming in on Thursday. It's going to be international version. There'll be no problem with that. And if somebody is interested, okay, I have a R2 controller that's unbound. It's good to go. And I have 3 Avata 360 batteries that I can sell you. If somebody's interested, okay, either email me at buildadronereviewer@gmail.com or message me on Facebook if you're friends with me on Facebook. And, I'll make sure it'll be a good deal for you. Don't worry about that. But you can trust it's new. It's only been used I had 3-4 flights with it. So minimal use on it. So it's good to go. So what are your thoughts on all that, Ron?
It's surprising, but not too surprising. I know when I saw, your video, when you had that memory card thing, that other message up top of the screen there, I did not see that in the majority of Avata 360 videos. That was a red flag right there. Right. I got mine from a South Korea seller, so I had the international versions, and I have, none of the issues, and I had the FCC number in I checked on the box after you ping me or whatever. I guess Evelyn's been selling other drones, Neo 2s and all those. Could they have been Chinese versions only, or was the Avata 360 the first Chinese specific drone?
I think you're right, because I got another Neo 2 off of her directly. Okay. And I haven't looked at that, but I would bet, I think that would be an international version. I think the Avata 360 is the only one
because of that 5G card or whatever.
Right. That kind of sets it apart from the other drones. All right. Is they have the ability to be able to use that over in China only.
And those cards are kind of reserved for DJI's enterprise products up until this point, correct?
Correct. Okay. Yeah. Correct. As far
as
if
you ordered a drone, not counting the Avata 360 from Evelyn, you're probably good on all those other drones.
Oh yeah. I would say this. Okay. Check your drone when it comes in. If you've ordered it from South Korea, I think you're good to go, but still check them, or Japan. If you specially ordered it from China, you want to check and reference the pictures that I just showed you. Okay. You can stop the video, pause the video, when it's out there, and take a look at it and see. And this is exactly what you should see out there. All right. 100%. All right. Was what I posted out there. You should see FCC ID and then the combination of letters and numbers after that. All right. And you're good to go. So technically here, I stopped flying it. I guess for all intents and purposes, Ron, I'm going to have about a $550 paperweight sitting on my desk for Lord knows how long.
Would you be allowed to sell that to somebody not in the U.S.?
I could, but I don't know. Say, for instance, I sold it to somebody in Canada. Okay. I don't know if they would have a law against purchasing a drone that was made for China only up in Canada or over in the UK. I think really technically the only place that I could truly sell that would probably be over in mainland China.
Okay? And you couldn't get through customs.
And it's not gonna get through customs. And I'm not talking U.S. customs, okay? I'm talking Chinese customs.
Well, right? I wonder if you could sell it to somebody in Taiwan, which is kind of China, kind of not China, right?
Yeah. I explored. I did a lot of checking on this, and I'm kind of content with the fact right now that what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have to sit on it because. An opportunity may present itself. We could look at it maybe say 6 months from now or a year from now. Evelyn may say, Bill, you know what? The situation's changed. If you want to send it back to me, I'll buy it from you or, whatever. Or you can go ahead and sell it to me and I'll pay you for it, kind of a thing. Something along those lines. It may change. So, it's not going anywhere. I packed it back up like originally, like I got it. So it's all good to go. And like I said, I'll still sell the batteries and the controller. I don't have a problem with that. So, but the rest of it, I'm just going to kind of leave sit in the box. I mean, I don't know what else to do with it.
You don't have the options at this point. Bill, on a bigger picture here, I guess, people told us that the Avata 360 was going to be the last drone, for the U.S. market. And we fought back, saying, oh, no, the Litos. And we thought the Pocket 4. And then we even said we heard about Mavic 5. But I hate to say it, I'm not trying to be clickbaity here, but I guess maybe the Avata 360 it is kind of the last hurrah here for us in the U.S.
And see, and that's something else. That's the broader picture. And I kind of wanted to talk about that with you tonight during the last part of the segment of the show. All right. We now find out that China is having problems with drones over there. Okay. They've restricted use over in Beijing over there. They're really kind of clamping down on
it. I'm going to cut you off just a second. Dennis Loveladies in China right now. Okay. His wife's from China. He probably has relatives over there. And he's making now he's nowhere near a big city, but he's out in the country and he's flying a drone all the time. I mean, I'm not. Right now he's there and he's flying a drone all the time. So I mean, is maybe not as bad as we think it is if you get outside the major cities as far as drone.
That's possible, but from everything I hear, the Chinese government is really kind of clamping down on this.
You know what? When Dennis gets back from China, we're going to get him on one of our shows and we're going to ask him this, Bill.
Yeah, I think that may be a good thing to do that because what I'm thinking is this, okay? And I talked about it a little bit with Johnny and Marcus last week is, Shakespeare was a master at theater and drama, all right? And I think what we've been seeing, all right, and this is just, and I've read this before too, and somebody else came up with this, and it kind of has, I think, some credence. And I wanted to spend a couple of minutes on this here, all right, that what we've been seeing here, all right, and going back to, let's go all the way back to what originally happened with DJI, a few years ago, and then, it's how it's been a slippery slope, and it's been going downhill ever since, all right, and then Autel has joined that bundle, all right, and now we're hearing rumblings that China, and not only just the Beijing area, but in general, the government is clamping down on use of drones over there. That this isn't just, somebody said, wouldn't this be a wonderful setup to say, while Trump was over in China, to have said, been offered, they made overtures to him, let's do it kind of through the back door kind of a thing. We're going to set this up. We're going to make it look like a dog and pony show. And then all of a sudden, DJI is going to announce they're going to build a manufacturing facility in the United States, employ Americans, and be able to sell drones over there freely, which would be good for the American
storybook
economy.
ending we had with the TikTok.
Yeah. Kind of same kind of thing here. I mean, I've heard a number of people talk about that, and I mean, our own Lauren has chimed in about that as well too. He has said some things regarding that. So I think there's some credence to that. I think there's some of this is based in fact, and it would kind of make sense because Ron, the one thing that has remained constant throughout all of this is that the federal government has not disclosed any of this data. Okay. Now, if it's so top secret and so super classified that we can't see it, what are they talking about?
And let me back you up here. So top secret stuff. When something gets to Congress and Senate, almost everything gets leaked eventually, right? Like the names in I'm not trying to be political. The names in the Epstein files get leaked. Everything gets leaked eventually in Congress and Senate. But how comes none of the drone information is getting leaked? You know why it's not getting leaked, Bill? There's nothing to leak because there is no information.
Exactly.
There are no smoking guns to name or call out or leak or whatever.
Well, okay, we watched, and I'll backtrack here. Okay, we're watching. I don't know if you have seen the Amazon Prime series Jack Ryan with John Krasinski.
Oh yeah, we just watched the movie this weekend.
Yeah, we watched Ghost War. We watched that too.
Yeah.
Okay, love that. So we just restarted watching season 1 all over again and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, it's good. I mean, it's something good. So what I did was I told Valerie, I said, you know what, I want to watch something similar. So I picked the movie Green Zone with Matt Damon. Okay, have you seen that?
Oh, you mean the Iraq movie?
Yeah, where
that's a great movie.
Where he's talking about weapons of mass destruction.
That's a great movie, yeah.
And as he go from location to location to location with this vetted intelligence, okay, they're empty warehouses. There's nothing there. All right, going from one to the other to the other to the other to the other. Okay, that all of this was manufactured, to get into a war with Iraq, to remove. The basic premise was to get rid of Saddam Hussein. All right. And they wanted to build up a case. So they came up with WMDs. And then they finally said, oh, they were all moved to Syria. Okay. But you had all this intelligence.
And 20 years later, we still don't know where those weapons of mass destruction are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like the weapons of mass destruction people are the same people who make up the drone stuff.
Exactly. Okay. They're probably sit there in their cubicles and type this stuff up and then send it out for approval. How's this sound? Okay. They probably work for the CIA. They're probably drafting this stuff up and say, let's go with this. How's this sound? Okay. Make this kind of stuff up because, one of the things to me that says that I think all of this is a nothing burger is the fact, okay, is hey, Kesselou said, there was a Booz Allen audit. I don't know. And Booz Allen is one of the most respected CPA firms in the world. Okay. And they did an extensive audit. Now, when they do audits, I know somebody that worked for them. Okay. They turn everything over. I mean, they upset the whole apple cart. They look at everything. They didn't find a thing, nothing, zero. Okay. And if you don't find anything on that, there's nothing to be found. All right. So, it's like 1 and 1 is not 3 here. All right. And it doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. All right. And I think all of this is leading to the fact, like we said earlier, I think this is just a Shakespearean play. It's playing out, and that we're going to end up seeing DJI's at the last minute. There's going to be an announcement. They're going to build a manufacturing facility here in the United States, employing Americans, and there'll be no issues with supply and everything, and everybody will be happy and all that kind of good stuff. So,
I'll be able to get my Air 4.
Be able to get your Air 4. I'll be able to get my Mavic 5 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is now, so far, Bill, I mean, we can't get the Litos or whatever. I mean, it's a budget price drone. It doesn't really do much for you. We can't get the Pocket 4, but we know already that there'll be an extra use version of the Pocket 4 we can get in Amazon this summer. And even if you don't want that, you can get the Insta360 alternative, the Luna. So, I mean, we really haven't locked out anything we wanted yet, but we get to the Air 4, Mini 6 Pro, Mavic 5, that's going to be what's going to hit us.
Yeah. So, well, Koopy, we heard from Lauren as far as that's concerned. So I just want to kind of
we also heard they never work a deal for TikTok.
Yeah. So
what's the old saying, Bill? Never say never.
Never say never. I mean, there was that James Bond movie with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Never say never, and and that's true. You can really never say never in an instance like this. I mean, it's just it really, this is kind of like we've had the tables turned on us. Okay, we really didn't think. Okay, we'll go back to what remote ID and how everybody was all tight about remote ID. No, everybody's going to find us. Everybody's going to see us.
When's the last time somebody got robbed for the drone because remote ID?
Yeah, okay. We haven't
seen that news story yet.
That's never come out. Okay, that's never been an issue. Never been a problem here. Okay, and then here we are. Oh, DJI's classified data all over the place. Da 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 da. Oh, do you have evidence? Well, it's classified. We can't show it to you. I'm like, what? Okay, you see classified evidence of Ron Brown flying over Lucy, over in New Jersey. I mean, seriously here, or Marcus flying out over the Snake River Canyon. Seriously, what?
Hey, can you imagine the Chinese leader, Xpeng? I can never say his name. He calls down to the spy department. He says, "Can I see all that data we're getting from the DJI drones?" They say, "Well, what data?"
Yeah, what data? Exactly. It is what it is, Ron, and I think we just need to sit back. Okay, here's the first thing I'm going to tell everybody. And I kind of said this the past couple of weeks. I've been saying it every show and making sure I want to mention that. Enjoy and fly what you have. Okay. All right. Don't worry about
which is the best drones ever made.
Yeah. What you have are the best drones that are ever been made. You have a Mavic 4 Pro. It's one of the best out there. One of the best available. Mini 5 Pro. It's awesome. The Avata 360, it's in a league by its own. And
Air 3S is still a champ.
The Air 3S is a jack of all trades and master of every one of them. I mean, what you have is fantastic. And like I've also said too, is, prepare for, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And what I mean by that is, okay, go out to Evelyn, buy extra batteries for your Air 3S, for your Neo 2, for your Avata 360, for your Mavic 4 Pro, for your Mini 5 Pro, okay? Buy a backup controller if you want to do that, all right? Buy these charging hubs. I mean, Evelyn has great prices on all of this, okay? And those are not having any problems coming over here as far as I know. So continue to do business with her. Continue to support her. That's one of the things that I also want to get across to in my message tonight to you guys. She and I had a great discussion, and it was resolved to my satisfaction at this point. And, and I told her, I said, I'm still going to support you. I'm still going to talk you up. She was very appreciative of that. And I appreciate her. And, she's had some really good prices on a lot of the accessories that I bought off of her.
Yeah. It's just, this is just one exception. This Avata 360 Chinese. In other words, don't buy an Avata 360 from anybody in mainland China. If you're going to buy on eBay, buy it off the South Koreans because they have the international version.
Exactly. Okay. And also too, one of the things, if you're going to go ahead out there and buy them off of somebody in South Korea, ask them, point blank, is this the international version or the China version when it comes to the Avata 360?
Yeah. And most of those sellers, the big South Korean stores, they all had the guarantee. So if you got one, you would have the 30 days to send it back.
Exactly. Okay.
For any reason, whatever. I mean, Evelyn's not a big company. She doesn't have that type of, she has more concerns being a one-person operator, but some of those other South Koreans, they have ways to they can get stuff in South Korea back.
Exactly here. Okay.
Oh yeah. And Johnny got his off of Evelyn, right?
Oh
Johnny bought his 360 off Evelyn.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Very interesting.
Hey,
Very
Joe, you better get your money back.
Well, Ron puts out some great videos and it's all from the drones that he already has. All right. Marcus does the same. I do the same as well, too. They're fun to fly. All right. Their photography and videography that you get out of them are second to none. Okay. They have advanced safety features on there as well, too. Don't lament over what we don't have. Enjoy what you do have. And then also, too, worst case scenario, buy some extra batteries, buy another controller, buy another charging hub as well, too, because you can't go wrong.
Or buy the anti-gravity A1. It will not get stuck in customs. If it's something wrong, you have to send it back to the company. You can send it back. Anti-gravity is not on. They're not on the Uyghur list. Nobody's stopping their products or whatever. They're legal to fly in the U.S. Actually, they came out at the end of last year. So the anti-gravity one's a safe drone as far as all the issues we talked about tonight.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm crossing fingers with anti-gravity that they're going to put out a regular controller. Because once they do,
that's the rumor. They keep saying it, but they better not sit in their heels. They need to stop talking about it and get that thing out the doorbell.
Yeah, and I think they will, Ron. I think they will do
that.
But
don't ship it to us in the middle of the winter. I mean, I know you're in Florida, Bill, but the majority of it don't want a drone controller when it's snowing.
Yeah, you're in December. You're up in Margate. And then you look outside, and there's snow flurries out there.
And here comes my new controller at the door. I can't use it for a couple of months. I can't use it until I come to Florida in March.
Yeah. So just hopefully anti-gravity. You're listening to us, and that you're going to make that controller. And it's going to be sooner rather than later.
And get that controller. Make a bundle that sells for under $1,000.
Exactly. You do that. I mean, that's going to be absolutely fantastic if you guys do that. So yeah,
Brendan are too busy with Jimmy Kimmel. Yo, Brandon, he's a busy man over at the FCC.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay. Anything closing thoughts here to wrap things up, Ron?
We covered a lot of ground here, and no, just check your, if you bought from Evelyn or another Chinese-based seller, you check your numbers or whatever. You do your due diligence. If you bought from South Korea or Adorama or something like that, you're probably good. It doesn't hurt to double check, but you're probably good to go. You probably got an international version, and you'll know right away if you got the Chinese version when you see that funny stuff Bill had in his, that thing with the 5G card and that whatever it said on the left side. It's easy to know if you have a Chinese version of the drone.
Yeah, exactly. So do your due, watch the video, stop it, take a look at the screenshots. This has also been posted out to my Facebook group as well, too. So you can take a look at them out there in detail if you need that help and assistance. Definitely go out and check them, and know, number one, if your drone here is legal in the United States or not. And it wasn't until that guy who was I just got a friend request from him, accepted it. He says, hey, you need to watch this video. And it was put out by Pilot Institute. I think it was Greg. I'm not sure, from Pilot Institute. And he talked about this. And so I said, I went out there, and sure enough, I checked the Neo 2. It was fine. I checked the Mavic 4 Pro. It was fine. I checked the Avata 360. No, it was not fine. So, do your due diligence, especially with that, just to do a double take on that and find out and make sure. So that's all I got for tonight. I hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys enjoy the new intro and the new intro and outro on the videos and everything, the logos and everything. And if there's enough interest, I may start selling T-shirts and hats. I tried doing that a few years ago. Interest was lukewarm, but I'm gonna try to get out some samples of T-shirts, wear them, and show you guys and see what they're like. And if you guys like them, we'll start making them as far as that's concerned. So as always, guys, remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.